I got a huge haul of WINWING flight controller stuff for IL-2 and DCS and Elite Dangerous. So we're gonna just do a crazy unboxing, first impression kind of thing. I'm gonna start with this one. This is the one I'm most excited about. It's the collective grip for the Blackshark, which I have in DCS. And it's kind of what got me going on. Eventually I need to upgrade from my 10-year-old Cytec X55 Rhino. You're probably sitting there shocked. 10 years? Yeah, it actually just now. It started having a couple buttons getting, you know, non-responsive and everything. And then just recently, about a month ago, a couple of them just flat out quit working. And if you watch some of my videos, you probably notice, especially when I go to drop bombs, that a lot of times the bombs wouldn't drop. It's because the button wasn't actually working. I had a backup old joystick I've been using the last few weeks, and it's adequate, but obviously it triggered the whole time to upgrade thing. I tried to open the old joystick thinking maybe just the buttons were a little gunky and I could clean them with some electrical cleaner or something. I carefully opened it, everything looked fine, I carefully put it back together, and the entire stick was dead. As you can see, it came out of the box. That was a nice thick box, and it was in this very nice kind of custom foam. We got some tools. Here's the mounts for it to attach to the throttle base. And then here is the collective itself. That is in there, nice and tight. Wrapped up very nicely. All right. This should be all in 4K, so it should be nice and sharp. That's a wheel. I think the actual one in the helicopter is a toggle. Nice switches, three-way switches. Hat, push button hat, a couple of buttons. It's in English there, if you can read it, if it's focused. This part of the reason I decided to go with WINWING over Virpil. WINWING was a little cheaper. And they had everything in stock and were able to ship. I ordered this stuff on a Monday and it showed up on Saturday. So less than a week to get it from China. And when I say China, I'm not talking Hong Kong or Shanghai. It was like deep in China. It was an entire day flight just to get to Shanghai, and then they flew it to Japan, and then of course all the way to the US. Also, one thing I liked on this one, maybe it doesn't actually have a throttle. I thought it had a throttle. That's fine. This also has on the side here, there are 4 buttons. And on the bottom, there are 2 kind of like hidden buttons. You can kind of see them there. They kind of blend in. So it's actually got 6 more buttons besides all of this. So anyways, that's very nice. It's metal. The throttle here is aluminum. So that's not like plastic. So I'm very excited about this. So that is the Blackshark KA50 collective grip. This is the Gemini throttle / collective base that the collective will go on, and then this will mount on the one thing I like is the boxes show what it is, and then it shows your parts list, because like I was saying, you download the manuals off the website where they're updated, and, you know, once you put the thing together you don't really need them again. So it's got a really nice long braided USB cable, quote gold plated, you know, probably isn't, but there's an Allen wrench in there as well. All right, take a look at this guy. It is off-centered a bit. I think that's on purpose because a lot of the mounts, you don't want it dead center because it runs into posts and mounts and stuff. I've heard that these can can adjust a little bit, pull out, especially out of the main throttle base. And then there's your, and you know, the Collective came with a couple of these, so I don't know if I swap these out or if those attach to that and lift it up more. But that feels pretty nice. And it's got some friction adjustments there too. And of course it's all set up to mount into all kinds of mounts. They're pretty generic. I was reading especially on the throttle base and the flight stick base that they work with Thrustmaster, you know, chairs and mounts and stuff. So that is the Collective throttle base. Alright, one of the other important things, like I said, my joystick basically died, but my X55 throttle is okay. And when I was pricing things out on Virpil, I almost wasn't going to get a throttle. I was going to get the KA Shark 50 panel, which has some throttle axes on it, and I was going to have that be my throttle. But like I said, they were more expensive, and they're running 2-3 months behind on production. And I'm an impatient American consumer, and I wanted my stuff now. So I was able to, you know, the WINWING stuff is cheap enough that I was able to get the stick, the throttle, the Collective, and all the various bits I need for it for less than what it would have cost me to get the Virpil stuff. I still plan on getting that KA50 panel from Virpil. SIM card ran out of space, so had to start over here. So this is the Orion 2 throttle base. And it came in a box, and then it's inside its own box. We'll see if it's also packed with foam. Is this taped shut? Or is it just being... Ah. Alright, now this one's packed a little different. Okay, so we got another nice long USB cable. There's the suction cups for the feet to hold it in place. Nice cutout foam. Oh, look at that. Oh, let's just take a moment and look at that. How about that? Even better. Alright, let's take her out. Kind of hefty. I've heard too that these pull out more because some people are concerned about them when they get attached. They bend a lot, but I guess you can adjust those. Let's pull it up here so you guys can see it. Alright. So here's your throttle. Ooh, and those are on there, but it's got some tension adjustments. And of course, obviously, you're supposed to have the leverage on your controls. One thing, ooh, there's a nice detent in the middle there of those. This is a infinite rotating knob plus a push button. All those just rotate forever. Each one's a push button. 3 position. 2 position. A pretty solid little, is that a push? That is a push. 3, 3, 3. Button, 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 button. And of course, yeah, the base. Base, I think this base is plastic. I think that was basically what the 2 is, so it's a little bit lighter, a little bit cheaper to make. Very nice. I've heard that, especially if you use the software, you can have like, you know, like the air-to-ground and air-to-air lights will actually sync with the cockpit and everything. It's got a master safe. These are nice. I know in the software, so they're an axis, right? And they got a detent in the middle. I've heard you can also program them to be a 1, 2, 3 position button if you want, which is cool. But I'm looking forward to that for like trim and radiators and IL2, all kinds of stuff. And when you look at it, it's got like F16. This looks like it's labeled for autopilot stuff. Over here is A10. Got some, you know, autopilot stuff, your master arm, your jettison, some weapons controls. And up here is all your flight control, launch bar, your hook, wing folding. I figured this is probably going to be used for like in the Blackshark. I know the gun has a knob like this for selecting different features of the gun, landing gear, parking brake, flaps, full half and auto. Nice for the jets. And really, to be honest, it'll be kind of nice maybe to use that just an IL2, just to do, yeah, up, half, down, combat, flaps in some of those planes. And of course, you'll have these as well. Alright, so that is the Orion 2 throttle base. This little guy, what's this little guy? The tape they use is very thick. These should be the finger detents, the finger lifts for the detents. Obviously you got some hardware. Let's open this up, it's all shrink wrapped. Ugh, hit myself in the chest. Oh, they really got that shrink wrapped. Alright, plastic bits, well there's a lot of bits, so I'm going to be very careful here. It's plastic. As you can see, they're spring loaded, so this goes on the thing and you'll lift down with your finger and you'll lift that up and be able to push on through into your afterburner, or you pull back, lift, pull back into your idle, cut off or whatever. So that'll be very nice. Obviously you got afterburners and stuff that'll help you not hit those on accident. Or in IL2, you know, you hit emergency war power like in a 410, you only got like 2 or 3 minutes, and sometimes you'll sit there and you didn't realize that you bumped your throttle and you're running 1% emergency, but in that game the timers are still running and you're still going to cook your engine. So those will be very nice. I'm curious because some people said that the throttle already comes with them, so that might have been an extra purchase I didn't need to do. So now we're going to check out the grips. Alright, these should be the throttle grips. Now I went with the F18 grips. I have the F16 stick, joystick. So I almost went with the F16 because I have the F16 in DCS. But I kind of figured the F18 has a little bit more of a generic layout. And I think I went through and I counted the buttons. I'm pretty sure it's got more buttons and hats and everything. So it's just a little bit more useful, especially like I said, I know I'm going to be using this in at least 3 games that have a lot of mapping. So I went with the F18. I still might get the F16 grip later, just for kind of like having the Blackshark grip. It'd be kind of nice to have the actual F16 throttle to go with my F16 grip for when I'm flying the F16. Oh, yep. It looks like right here on top. Nope, nope. These are the handle arms. See if you can see that there. It says throttle arm. Here's the finger lift kit that I ordered. So maybe I was correct then. These look like they are also shrink wrapped. Not quite as insanely shrink wrapped as the finger lift kit. These are just in a bag. So probably these are to attach it to the metal parts that were sticking out of the throttle that we saw earlier. So here's this side of it, right? Let's take a look at each half. So this is the right half, and it's got a button. It snaps forward, momentary back, so that's nice. A 4-way hat with a button. So it's more like a 4-way toggle, forward, back, and a button. Another 4-way hat with a button. Then on the front, we've got a spring-loaded momentary wheel. That'll be nice for zoom. Get in there and zoom. And then this should be your point of view cap with a button. So that'll be good for slewing. The other half, the left half, it has a forward and back 3-position toggle, and it's got 2 buttons. The buttons are very nice. They're very authoritative. They're kind of loud. I bet you'll hear that when I'm clicking stuff when I'm flying. So now not only will you have the bird chirping, you'll probably hear me constantly clicking buttons. That's alright. I like that. They feel very nice. So that is the F18 throttle grips to go on the Orion 2 throttle base. Alright, this should be the stick base. USB cable, suction cups, in the bottom here is the big metal plate that it bolts to, and then you put the suction cups, here in the corners, clamp it down to your table. Oh, that is beefy. Let's clean up the table here. It's the Orion 2 stick base. And yeah, it's got screw holes in the bottom and all that, and like I said, now there's your, this time the USB is in the center. So you'll want to check on that mount wise, and if I do decide to mount it to a chair, we'll see how that goes. And the final box from this batch should be the, oh yeah, there it is, shows it there. The F-16 grip. Nice. Oh, that's the gap where the that little expansion went. What's this? Big old bolt, big old threaded bolt, all thread. Okay. Now, one thing I kind of wanted with Virpil was I was going to get their grip, which was a little more Russian designed. I think it's actually based on like the SU-35 or something, but it looked a little more Blacksharkish. But I'm okay with having the F-16 grip because, like I said, I do have the F-16 in DCS. Plus, it's got a lot of options. You got a hat with a button, nice button there, hat there, both are buttons. At the very least, a 4-position hat with a button. There's a button down here. Of course, you got your brake. The trigger should be a 2-stage. Yep. 2-stage trigger. It's got English commands on it. And then over here, oh, is that a... Not sure if that's just a 2-way or if it's a 4-way. We'll find out. But that's nice. Instead of it just being a button, it's definitely a hat. That is metal. That's hefty. And as you can see, it's a threaded base. Over here, these are adjustments, and this panel slides up and down. It's a, palm rest, which as you can see, I might have to adjust that a little bit. Feels good. Everything's nice within reach. That feels good. And that, of course, just goes right on the base here. You just clamp it in. I guess does this screw up probably? Yeah, this rotates. So you just, much like my X-55, you just screw that on there, and then the base will be attached. So I'm going to be keeping my throttle and joystick on my desk, and then the Collective will be mounted on the chair mount. It's the mount for the Gemini throttle base and everything, which is part of the Collective for the Blackshark. So as you can see, this has got a big old bag of hardware, some tools. Here's your little armrest slash, I guess, access limiter. Hit this. And then here's the actual mount, which is nice aluminum. And it's got the captive bolts in there. So that's very cool. So anyways, that is the unboxing videos. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.